Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy you're here. I'm back with another week of yummy food. Just a reminder, I only do these types of videos to inspire and motivate you. And I by no means forcing you to eat the same way I do or exercise the same way I do. Everybody is unique. And even when we don't eat the same way or exercise the same way, we can all be healthy because it looks different for everyone. It's all about tuning in, finding what works for us, and listening to our body. So as you can see, I started my day off with these beautiful banana splits with some coconut yogurt, frozen berries, cherries, and cinnamon. It was like eating dessert for breakfast, but nourishing and healthy. After eating my breakfast, I did my workout. I usually start my week off with a booty day because that I love the most, although it burns as hell. But I just feel the most confident in doing those workouts. And I also made some high intensity because lately I've been trying to do high intensity workouts every single day, some sort of high intensity, because it's really good for your cardiovascular health and I want to take care of my heart. So yeah, after my little workout session, I quickly made a one-pan meal for lunch. I chopped up a lot of broccoli and mushrooms and added them to a big pan along with cooked brown rice, onions, and poured over a creamy sauce which I made from cashews, coconut milk, salt, pepper, garlic powder, smoked paprika, nutritional yeast, curry powder, and turmeric, and blended them all on up until they were smooth. I actually soaked the cashews for the sauce for an hour before to make the blending easier because I don't have a high-speed blender. I sprinkled some breadcrumbs on top of the broccoli mushroom mixture and I baked it in the oven for around 30 minutes until the top was cracked and nicely cooked through. It turned out so well that my brother actually said that this is what he wants to have on his birthday, so pretty special meal. For dinner, I made a quick nourish bowl from chickpeas, tomatoes, cucumber, red pepper, and some avocado spread. I poured a dressing on them which I made from hummus, lime juice, Italian herbs, and some water, and call it a day. Hello. It's summer in a week, so I am on the cold drink train and I wanted to show you one of, if not the best drink I've ever made from matcha. First, I freezed a cup of matcha tea in the freezer as ice cubes. Then I added a few cubes into a glass, filled it with oat milk and topped it with whipped cream or aquafaba. I used aquafaba, aka chickpea water, unsalted one. Mix it with matcha and agave and top the drink with it. You'll literally feel like a queen drinking at a fancy coffee shop. It's the perfect way to treat yourself.
I get my hopes up every time, and I don't wanna be let down each road to find. I just wish I'd seen the price tag for my heart breaking.
After the matcha cake, I went for a workout and then I made myself some breakfast. I actually made a blueberry oat cake. I added 2 cups of oat flour, a cup of oats, a teaspoon of baking powder, a pinch of salt, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 cup of plant milk, an optional teaspoon of agave, a cup of frozen blueberries, and 2 tablespoons of each chia seeds and peanut butter. I mixed them very well and then baked them in the oven for around 32 minutes on 180 Celsius degrees. Make sure it's cooled down, wait at least 15 minutes. It's gonna be hard, but you can do it because it cuts so much better. I just enjoyed it by itself, but I'm sure it would be even nicer with some banana nice cream, pun intended, or some peanut butter.
Yeah, I'm looking back at the past and I feel regret. Don't wanna walk on the block, see where we met. Try to forget that you went.
I'm going crazy over here. I cannot stop. A bit later, I started to make some lunch. I washed some mushrooms and pulled out their stalk and baked them in the oven for 20 minutes on 180 Celsius degrees. Meanwhile, I chopped up the remaining stalks as well as some garlic and onions. I sauteed them together, added smoked paprika, salt, pepper, curry powder, some water, soy sauce, and crumbled on a block of firm basil tofu. Finally, I added 2 teaspoons of turmeric and let that cook for 5 minutes. I had this beautiful bouquet of asparagus, which I cooked with some garlic powder, pepper, olive oil, soy sauce, agave, Italian herbs, and added some water to simmer. In about 3 minutes, I removed the lid and let the water dissolve. And voila! Lunch was done and I could not wait to dive in. Later, I made some whole grain crepes, which are not perfect yet, so I'll share the recipe later. However, I have a crepe recipe down below just in case you want some crepes in your day that uses all-purpose flour. I really want to make one with whole grain. Anyway, this was basically my dinner. It was that time of the month. Did not crave anything else apart from some yummy crepes with cocoa powder.
Sitting in silence, we still feel the vibe, but you could not say a word, and I know what you just.
After a good amount of reading, matcha, and cat petting, I decided to make some French toast, which I should make more often because they are so good. First, I made a chia jam, very simple. Just cook together a few tablespoons of chia seeds with cinnamon, frozen first fruits, and agave, and wait until it becomes thick. Then I coated some bread with mashed banana, agave, and cinnamon, and fried them each side. Top them with the jam, some leftover coconut yogurt, and again, cherries, because they literally became my obsession lately.
Baby, running away every day, feeling the same in a different way. You and I making fire.
For lunch that day, I made some breaded veggies and tofu with cucumber salad and couscous with corn. I cut up zucchinis, carrots, and tofu and coated them first in oat milk, then corn flour, back to oat milk, and then finally breadcrumbs.
Marcy only fasts if it's torture. I'm taking this fasting way too far. My stomach is gonna be restless. It will leave a nasty scar. And I'll eat every day.
Good for a weekend. You can pour over some oil as well to make it a nicer color, but I made it without oil and it worked just fine. I baked them in the oven until they became crispy. Took around 20 minutes on 180 Celsius degrees. For some cucumber salad, I cut up cucumbers into thin slices. I added the cucumbers to a bowl along with 2 tablespoons of vinegar, salt, pepper, some agave, and vegan sour cream. Mix that well and enjoy these as my lunch.
I'm gonna pull a study to the side. She keep coming at me every day and night. When I left in my life started feeling right. Yeah, yeah, ooh. These days I'll do anything I like. Granted for this life every day and night. When I left I told them I would get it right. Yeah, yeah, break bread and break hearts. Don't get me started now. Break up to break down. I'm getting money now. Fuck love, I can't trust. I'm too damn jaded now. Break laws, but not y'all. Those already tweaking now. I fell in love with them.
After I got home, I had a lot of aubergines lying around, so I put them in the oven to bake at around 180 Celsius degrees for around 25 minutes. I brushed them with some olive oil, seasoned them with pepper, Italian herbs, and garlic powder. I then made a stuffing. I sauteed some onions with olive oil, Italian herbs, pepper, garlic powder, smoked paprika, a bit way too much though, so I had to take some out. Then later I added a can of chopped tomatoes, butter, beans, and mushrooms and let them simmer for around 5 minutes. Finally, I added a cup of couscous and just put the pot aside for 10 minutes until the couscous absorbed all the liquids. And basically that was it. This dinner was super quick yet so amazing. Don't be scared to use canned vegetables. Yes, fresh veggies are always the best, but if you're in a hurry or if you don't have enough energy to cook from raw vegetables. Frozen and canned vegetables are a lifesaver, so I'm always going for them when I feel like it. I started off the next day with a matcha shake. I blended together banana, some peanut butter, oat milk, matcha powder, and I got this beautiful creamy drink that's just perfect for summer and a perfect pre-workout drink as well, although I did not work out that day. That was my rest day. Poured it over some ice cubes and enjoyed it. I still had one aubergine left from the other day that I didn't use up, so for breakfast I fried a few slices. I am in love with grilled aubergine. I seasoned them with curry powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper and soy sauce. I cut up some yummy olive sourdough, added some hummus, chili flakes, arugula, the aubergine slices and tomato. I also made a berry smoothie to go along with the sandwich from bananas, cherries, frozen forest fruit, matcha powder, cinnamon and oat milk. Blended them together, put it in a glass, and that was breakfast. I always have to make sure to eat before I edit these videos because I'm always getting so hungry by just looking at me eating these foods. Sometimes it's a challenge. Hell yeah. And then it was lunchtime. I chopped up a bunch of yellow potatoes, added them to a baking sheet along with some onions, seasoned them with salt, pepper, smoked paprika, curry powder, and baked them in the oven for like 30 minutes or so. I also chopped up the remaining aubergine from the morning and some zucchini, mixed them with onions, olive oil, pepper, curry powder, garlic powder and salt. I put them next to the potatoes in the oven for around 20 minutes on 180 Celsius degrees. For some protein, I cooked butter beans with pepper, vegetable broth, some vegan sour cream, nutritional yeast and curry powder. I then mashed a few ripe avocados in a bowl, added red onions, vegan mayo, nutritional yeast, some lemon juice, and mix them well. This was probably the highlight of the lunch. This not so authentic guacamole turned out so well.
Oh, you did the impossible. I'm kind of feeling like you stole my heart. Your lips are incredible. Our bodies fit together.
For dinner, I am making a green pesto pasta with roasted zucchini and cherry tomatoes. I seasoned the veggies with Italian herbs, some olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and baked them in the oven on 190 Celsius for 8 to 10 minutes. For the pasta sauce, I blended together garlic, basil, pepper, salt, Italian herbs. I also had 2 very ripe avocados, so they went in there as well, along with spinach and arugula and some sunflower seeds. I blended it with some olive oil and water. Ideally, this should be done in a food processor, but you gotta work with what you have, so I use my blender. I also recommend squeezing some lemon juice in there just so that the pasta doesn't go brown because of the avocado, and because of the C vitamin, the iron content from this pasta would be absorbed even better. I mixed it with some warm fusilli pasta and the roasted veggies, and that was my nourishing, lovely dinner. The next morning, I started my day with a warm turmeric tea with ginger, cinnamon, turmeric powder and pepper. I then prepped myself a chia pudding for breakfast. I mixed cinnamon, matcha powder, chia seeds, some oats and oat milk. I left it in the fridge for an hour. Meanwhile, I worked out. Chia seeds are little powerhouses filled with amazing nutrients. Just 2 tablespoons is going to give you the whole daily recommended omega-3, and it's also high in calcium and iron, not to mention the fiber. So fill up on chia seeds. I then topped it with some coconut yogurt, cherries, forest fruits, and some mixed nuts, and enjoyed. For lunch, I attempted to make a Thai-ish soup. I chopped up some spring onions. The green part I put aside, and the root part I sauteed with veggie broth, curry powder, garlic powder, and soy sauce. I chopped up a lot of oyster mushrooms and broccoli and added them to the pot along with boiling water to simmer. I then added the other part of the spring onions, some firm tofu, a pack of udon noodles, as well as some rice noodles because we didn't have enough udon noodles, so I just mixed it, but it was okay. And I left it on the stove for another few minutes and it was ready. I actually had around 4 bowls of this soup. It was so crazy good. To be honest, I was not really hungry at dinner time, but I still wanted to have something. So I made another cherry smoothie, but this time with cocoa powder. And wow, I was in love. Cocoa powder and cherries are such a great combo. I used frozen cherries, bananas, cocoa powder, matcha powder, cinnamon, and oat milk. I blended it up and put it into a glass and sipped on it. So guys, that was everything I ate this week. Thank you so much for watching. Greatly appreciate it. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you liked it. It helps me so much. Sending you lots of love and sunshine. See you guys very soon. Wow, cherry with cocoa powder, just wow.